pricing is a bit of a black art. And when it comes to SaaS businesses, particularly B2B SaaS businesses, when you have to think about net dollar retention, when you have to think about the incredibly competitive landscape that exists in SaaS today, when you have to think about different market segments, when you think about all these things, pricing is doubly so a black art when it comes to SaaS businesses. But I think it's gotten way too complicated. And I think that there's a simpler way to actually look at this. So in this episode, I'm going to dig into the 3 principles that you absolutely need to know to actually establish my 3-tiered pricing model. And for 80% of early stage SaaS businesses, this is going to drive growth for you. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, my SaaS launch program, if you are part of this community, welcome back. It's seriously awesome to see you over here. Seriously, thank you for coming back. Now, I remember the first time someone signed up for the $199 a month plan for ToutApp. Super early days. Our normal price was $30 a month, and we had this $199 price plan that we just had it there. We didn't think anyone was going to sign up. It was so early. And by the way, now, like by the time we sold the company, we were charging $125 per month per seat. But in the early days, we had no idea what the value we were really delivering was. So I remember the first time someone signed up for the $199 one, we were like blown away. We were looking up, it's like, who is this person? Is this someone's mom? Is this a real person? Is it a spam account? It was a real customer. It was a legit account, and they were upgrading on their own, and they hadn't talked to anyone in the company. It was incredible. That's when we also realized that we were probably undercharging for the product, and we were also entering into new segments of the market that we needed to serve in a bigger way. Now, through the years, over 10 years of being in SaaS, multiple companies, multiple exits, I've learned the ins and outs of SaaS pricing, and it's an ever-growing field. In prior episodes, we've talked about the core principles around pricing. We've talked about value-based pricing. And if you missed those episodes, these 2 right here, you don't have to go right now. I'll link to them below. But in this episode, I wanted to just teach you my 3-tiered system. This is a 3-tiered system that I think 80% of early stage SaaS businesses can just adopt, and they will optimize their pricing, and they don't have to think as much about it. They don't have to overcomplicate it, and they can actually drive growth. So if you're excited to dig in the 3 principles in my 3-tiered system, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really likes it when you do that. I love it when you do that. My team loves you when you do that. Let's go to principle number 1. Principle number 1 is a lot of times people actually overcomplicate the number of plans they have and how to tier them. I think that you actually want to just have 3 plans based on customer maturity. Customer maturity is important. Your SaaS product is essentially bringing some sort of a transformation, right? And in that transformation, in this world of transformation they're going through, there's always going to be a different level of maturity for that customer. If they're in the very beginning stages of this transformation, their maturity is going to be low. So they're essentially a beginner, right? They're just starting to figure this out. If they are a mature business and they're well into this transformation and they're now jumping onto your platform, then they're going to go into the intermediate plan. The intermediate plan will have some mix of the basic features that the beginners would want and maybe some of the more advanced features to actually move them along in their journey. And then there's always going to be the super advanced customer. This is that $199 plan we had in the early days. The super advanced customer is going to be farther along in their maturity. They're going to want some of the more experimental features. Maybe they'll want team features. Maybe they'll want advanced reporting, and then they'll have that advanced plan. If you can sit down and start to think about your customer maturity curve, meaning what does it look like when they're just starting out in the transformation? What does it look like when they're halfway through? And what does it look like when they're the best in the business in terms of leading that transformation and can teach others? You'll always come down with some sort of a beginner, intermediate, and advanced tier. And you don't need to overthink this. You just need to create 3 pricing tiers that actually match to that. And what this will naturally do is it'll help the super early people just get in really easily. It'll help the majority of the people that are in this transformation already look at it and say, yep, they've got all the things we need. We'll go for the intermediate. And for the small percentage of people that are really farther along in this transformation, they'll look at the advanced and not disqualify you as being too basic. They'll say, oh, cool, they have the advanced thing. They have some of the key features, and that means they're probably doing more, and they'll actually go into the advanced. So principle number one is just map out your customer maturity curve and just tier it across 3 buckets: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. And if you do that, then you've solved more than half of your problems. Once you've done that, the second principle that you need to understand and embrace in this 3-tiered system is you need to actually embrace price anchoring. Now, there's a reason why there's 3 tiers. There's a reason why there's 3 things and a lot of things, and like 3 is an important number for humans and it shows up everywhere. But particularly here, price anchoring is super, super powerful. What is price anchoring? Let's just say that I'm selling you a piece of gum and I tell you, hey, the piece of gum costs $1. Now, in your head, $1 could be like amazing deal for you. It could be a no deal for you because you're not comparing it to anything. And I'm just giving you one number. You're essentially deciding on what that means for you, what $1 means for you. Now, let's just say you approach me for a piece of gum and I say, hey, listen, you can actually go for my normal gum and that's $1. You can go for my slightly sweeter gum and that's $1.25, or you can go for my premium gum and that's $3. And all of a sudden, you're not just thinking about the one number I gave you, you're asking yourself, am I a $3 gum kind of person? Or do I just want the basic gum and I'll just take it for $1? Now, you see how now you're not looking at $1 as just $1. You're automatically been anchored into thinking about $3, $1.25 or $1.50 and $1. And all of a sudden that $1 seems a lot cheaper than that $3. And I could apply the same idea around anchoring, where I'm anchoring you around price and say the same thing and say, hey, look, do you want my basic gum that costs $3? I have a slightly sweeter gum that's $6. And I have this premium gum that actually gives you a lifetime subscription for $10. Same idea. All of a sudden, the $6 doesn't seem so bad, even though I started at $3. This is what's anchoring. This is why there's always 3 ideas, 3 plans. You see so many 3s. And there's one that kind of sticks out in the middle. And all of a sudden the middle seems reasonable because it's not as crazy as this $10 or $199 plan. It's also not the basic thing at $30. You're in the middle. You're in this $49 plan or $59 plan or whatever number you choose. So principle number 2 is when you're following these 3 tiers along the customer journey, which is principle number 1, principle number 2 is to embrace price anchoring. Remember that $199 plan we told about? Well, the $199 plan was this crazy advanced plan we made up, and it was this price anchoring. We started at $199. Our basic was $39, and we wanted everyone to just go for the $49 plan. And the reason we did that, we said, well, $199 is crazy, but we've anchored there. $30 is just the basic to get started, and $49 seems reasonable and a steal because we included some important features that we knew majority of people would want. We wanted majority of people in the intermediate stage. And that's the power of price anchoring. All of a sudden, they're not just thinking about what does $1 mean to me, but they're saying, well, $6 is better than paying $10 for gum, and I don't want the cheap $3 one. Let's go for the 6. I like sweeter. All of a sudden, the human brain, which is billions of years old, it just adapts very quickly. Are you guys starting to see the power in this? So principle number 1 is just map out the customer journey and have 3 plans. Principle number 2 is embrace price anchoring. Now, I do have a principle number 3, but let me just pause here before I go to this principle number 3. If you're starting to see the power in this and that you don't need to overcomplicate pricing, you can just go with 3 tiers. You can map it along your customer journey. And when you do this, you're embracing price anchoring. You're using the right human motivation factors to actually get them to take action. And you're also baking it in so that people can start in one of these tiers and there's always another tier to go into. If you're starting to see the power in this, where eventually people will keep using, and eventually upselling your product to the highest plan, if you start to see the power in how all these come together in this 3-tier system, can I just get a yes in the comments below? Also, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It really likes it when you do that. I love it when you do that. My team loves you for it when you do that as well. So be sure to do that. Also, if you are starting to figure out your pricing strategy and you're starting to figure out your overall strategy around how to grow your SaaS business, be sure to check out my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. But I'll tell you about it at the end of this video. We have one more principle. The one more principle you should apply to your 3 tiers pricing strategy is when you show your 3 plans in your pricing page, you should also have a bottom area where it says, hey, enterprise, talk to sales. This is super important. Now, whether you're product-led growth or sales-driven growth, you should always have one plan for sure where it's like, hey, do you have questions? Are you an enterprise customer? Talk to sales. Because there's going to be a certain set of buyers, no matter what you do, how affordable the pricing is, how easy the product is to get started, they're just not going to sign up for the product. They want to talk to a human. They're those kind of buyers. There's also crazy people that just want to talk to humans and have nothing better to do, which is why it's super important for principle number 3 is to just have something in the bottom that says, hey, are you an enterprise customer? Click here to talk to sales. And you take them to a forum where you ask for specific information. You ask for a work email, company size, the actual company, and that way you can actually decide whether to talk to them or not. And that way you filter out the crazies. This is super important because on one hand, you're going to get a lot of people that are tire kickers, so they'll get into the product and start trying it out. Once they get in and start trying it out, if you're in the early stages, I always recommend that you just reach out to them proactively and offer an onboarding call so you can actually make sure they're set up for success, and you also learn a lot more about your target customers. But also at the same time, you should also have a talk to sales button identifying enterprise customers. This will signal that, hey, you understand that enterprise customers have a different need. You also set expectations that, look, we'll talk to you if you are an enterprise customer, not just a random customer. And you also can actually signal that, hey, we can meet your needs, and you'll learn a ton from these calls as well. So to summarize my 3-tiered pricing strategy, principle number 1, actually just map it to your customer maturity journey. Have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced plan. You don't have to call it beginner, intermediate, advanced. You can call it whatever you want, but map it that way. You should embrace price anchoring, and that will actually help you drive more conversions. And also, lastly, always have an enterprise talk to sales button, because inevitably people will be signing up for that higher tiered plan. People will not engage with you if they can't talk to a human being. So that's super important. When you employ these 3 things, you will be able to grow faster because you will have a sound pricing strategy that optimizes for a lot of core principles that exist because of SaaS businesses and the metrics that matter. Now, I have 2 things for you as we wrap up. Number 1, if you want to dig more into the underlying principles that drive SaaS pricing, I have 2 videos on this. One is around value-based pricing, and the other is around pricing strategy. You can check out both these 2 videos. You don't have to go right now. You can just follow the link below. I'll link to them. The other thing I have for you is you're likely watching this video because you're building out a SaaS business. And when it comes to building out a SaaS business, you need to have a proper market strategy, a product strategy, and a go-to-market strategy. There's 3 key pillars around this. This is why I created my SaaS growth strategy guide. It's completely free, and when you download it, you get way more details on how to craft a proper strategy to grow, including your pricing strategy. It links to a bunch of my other YouTube videos that are the best performing, but it's contextualized around the key pieces of strategy that you need to create. It's completely free. You should totally download it if you're a SaaS founder looking to grow your SaaS business. All you need to do is just go to getunstoppable.com/strategy and you can download it. Getunstoppable.com/strategy. Lastly, if you got value from this video, be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Loves it when you do that. I love it when you do that. You should hit the subscribe button and that bell icon if you haven't already, because I drop an episode like this with actionable strategies 2 to 3 times a week. And lastly, also, if there's another founder that can get value from things that I've talked about here, please share this video with them. We want to impact as many SaaS founders as possible. Lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK. I'll see you in the next episode.